Imagine this is a school.
Today I will show you some of the tricks that I can do. Mandarin only. Nope, nope.
In most schools today, the psychological battery known as motivation runs out for both students and teachers. A dead psychological battery means that they're disengaged. Disengagement makes learning shallow and fake. Disengagement can look like dropping out, failure to achieve, faux achievement, which is when you have a paper-thin understanding of a multidimensional reality. Faux achieving, to get good grades and diplomas, creates the illusion of being educated. Hi, my name is Don Berg. I'm the Executive Director of Deeper Learning Advocates. Babies come into the world with intrinsic motivation to learn deeply. The world is so new to them that they often reorganize how they understand it. Along comes school, and the typical child is made to do tasks that they find meaningless. When a child's energy is squandered on the irrelevant, the psychological battery eventually goes dead. Same is true for teachers. Everyone starts out learning deeply, but it gets shallow when school is boring, unchallenging, overwhelming, or irrelevant. In my video, Back to Basics 2.0, I noted that the epidemic of disengagement affects about 70% of all K-12 students and teachers. Becoming educated in our global society today requires deeper learning. But when students and teachers are disengaged, deeper learning is impossible. That is a problem that is pushing us to do better. Dropouts and underachievers get all the attention, but most students succeed by jumping through the hoops. Grades, test scores, and diplomas that reflect hoop jumping, not mastery, are faux achievements. Disengagement was a persistent fact of life in my schooling. Most of the time I was a faux achiever. At the beginning of high school, I got my fair share of D's, which was my phase of underachieving. And for 20 years, I was a college dropout. That's the disengagement trifecta: faux achievement, underachieving, and dropping out. I fortunately recovered from my disengagement. How about you? What's your disengagement story? Share it in the comments or send me an email. Of course, those patterns learned in school end up in the workplace. According to Gallup, 85% of employees across the globe are disengaged, and as a result, every year we lose $7 billion in productivity. With schools focused on diplomas, grades, and test scores, the epidemic of disengagement is running rampant, while we ignore innovations that might create more engagement. Human learning is like a car with only forward gears. Sleep is neutral or park, just two other gears, both forward, no reverse. Waking up starts the learning process, automatically puts us in low gear. Low gear is shallow learning. When conditions are just right, we can get into high gear, which is where deeper learning can happen. Here's the deal. The switch for getting into high gear is flipped when primary needs are satisfied. When we have our needs thwarted, then we cannot learn deeply. We're stuck in low gear. When we just parrot back the norms and conventions of a test to get a grade or a score without mastering the subject, that's faux achievement, which is the illusion that we learned something valuable. Also known as going through the motions. Jumping through the hoops. Or gaming the system. If you know another saying for it, leave it in the comments. We humans learn all the time we're awake, but most of our learning is shallow. If our education system continues to neglect the charging of human batteries, then it will continue to produce inadequate results. Schools that continue to focus exclusively on diplomas, grades, and test scores are like a driver ignoring the fuel gauge. Focusing exclusively on steering speed and RPMs might be fun, but when the fuel runs out, you're in for some hard work to get yourself back in the race. Only when we're immersed in conditions that are pervasively need supportive can we consistently reach deeper learning. Our schools are currently like a car that doesn't even have a gas gauge. We can't consistently fix the problem because we don't know how much psychological fuel students and teachers have. Even if you put gas in an empty tank, it's a temporary fix. Without a way to gauge how much fuel is left, we're set up to run out of gas again. Improving the education system requires more than just quick fixes. Starting from what to avoid is good, but we also need to be clear about what we're aiming at so that we don't lose our way by going in random directions. School should avoid burning out both teachers and students. Since teachers and students regularly burn out, that is a bad outcome. That is pushing us to do better. But K-12 schools also need to strive forward towards something positive, some kind of good thing that can pull us all in the right direction. More on that in my video, Deeper Learning: The Pull. For more information, visit dladvocates.org. Thanks for watching.